In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about Facebook ads, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make profitable ads for your Shopify store. So let's get started. My Facebook ad results. So we'll go over my Facebook ad results. So you can see here my total that I spent on Facebook ads last year was almost $26,000. Return on ad spend, you can see below here that I circled, I got 6,766 total purchases off that $25,000, almost $26,000 ad spend. So my return on ad spend is $202,000 or $202,980. That's converted, or that's calculated by my average order value of being $30. So if you see my previous video, you'll see that my average order value is about $30. It could be a little less, a little more, but majority of my orders that do come in on Shopify are about $30. So $30 times 6,766 purchases equals $202,980. So you could take a look. My most profitable ad campaign are retargeting ads. But then you could look here as a look-alike audiences at 1 to 3% coming in a close second with over 1,600 purchases. So this is just kind of, I've been able to kind of do a lot of trial and error and learn what worked and what didn't work. So that's kind of what I want to teach you guys in my method, in what works for me and how you can better be profitable when you create campaigns yourself. So let's just jump right into the course and we can get started. So the basics. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is install your Facebook pixel. Even before you even start creating ads, as soon as you create your website or your Shopify store, that is one of the very first things you do after you've already developed the site. So I want to show you guys exactly where to go to do that. So if you go, so for my Shopify Blender, my site, you head over onto Online Store and head on over to Preferences. You'll go down over here to Facebook pixel, and what you want to do is copy paste that Facebook pixel. So we can go over to the ads, and you will go over to pixels right here. Basically, you come over here and you take your pixel ID and you copy paste that. So here it is. So you want to make sure the status is active and you have your pixel ID already copy pasted into your store. So that is one of the most important things, because while you're doing that, you're gathering data for your site, and it's one of the main things you absolutely want to do at the very beginning is installing your Facebook pixel. Another thing, obviously super basic, just creating your Facebook Ads Manager account. So another thing that I want you guys to focus on is understanding that Facebook is a bidding system. It's an auction, and ad space is very limited. Yes, you might hear that there's billions of people on Facebook, but there's also people that are trying to attract. There's the same people that are trying to attract those same audiences, or the same people that are making purchases online. So ad space is limited, and it's based on supply and demand. It's never consistent, so you'll never really get consistent results. Obviously, before, when a lot of people weren't on Facebook, it was a lot easier to get a higher return on your ad spend. But now that there's a lot more people on Facebook, you have to be you have to be smarter and more efficient in developing your ads, and you have to develop a strategy. You can't go into Facebook ads just thinking you could put up your product and then people will purchase. You have to have a strategy, and that's what I'm going to explain in this full course. Again, there's different types of campaign objectives. The main ones that I really focus on are engagement and conversions. Yeah, you can focus on brand awareness or reach, but I really focus on engagement and conversions, and I'll show you again through my strategy on what I use to do that. And then the examples of what I mean of it being a supply and demand and never consistent is because, examples like it's more expensive during the holidays because a lot more people are selling, and there's higher conversions during the holiday season. So you're going to see a higher price per ad, pay-per-click or anything like that on Facebook ads when it's during the holiday season. And again, if you the broader your objective is, or the broader your audience is, the cheaper. So like obviously if you were to hit different countries, they'll be a lot cheaper than if you were to hit US and Canada, which these audiences or these customers have higher purchasing power. So the more people are going after, United States or Canada. So obviously the more people that are targeting those types of audiences, the more expensive it's going to be. So just keep that in mind. Moving on. So this is basically, a lot of people, I say, go into Facebook ads with no strategy. And I thought, I would just drive as many sales as possible just by putting money into a specific ad. I thought I could just put a picture of my ad and then people will come and buy. But you need to have a strategy. And a strategy that I mean is like you need to have a Facebook ad funnel. So I'm going to explain this this kind of Facebook ad funnel that I created. So here you have the audience on the left side and the ad on the right side. Very first thing I would do is hit 100% worldwide 18 to 60 females. And since this is just a pay-per engagement, the very first thing that I want to do to these types of people are I want to show them a video of my product. That's it. So my main goal for the top version, for the top portion of this funnel is just to have people who've never heard of your product hear about it for the first time. So you'll be able to see who's got an interest. So that's the very first type of ad that I would send out. And it's hitting worldwide ages 18 to 60 female. And then the next thing I would hit, because I've created these audiences, people who watch 95% of that video, I'm going to give them an ad with a direct link to the site. So that's pay-per-click. So now that's my strategy for people who have engaged with that first ad. Now I'm going to show them a direct link to my site, because now the lead is starting to get a little warmer. Now, instead of them being the first time they see my product, this is kind of the second time, because now they showed a little bit of interest by even playing 95% of my video ad. So now for the people who have, clicked the link, they're people who have visited my site, they become a warmer lead. So now I want to show them variations of the product. So now that's a different type of ad that I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them that I have different colors. And that's the ad that I'm going to show them, because they're already aware of my product. They already know what it can do. So maybe they don't know that I have different variations of it if there's different colors. So that's for the 50%. So now we're getting warmer with the leads. Now, from those people who visited my site, there's 25% say who added to cart. And those people on Facebook, I want to offer them a discount. So now I would, offer them buy one, get one free, or, 20% off your first sale. So now they're getting even warmer. So I'm just trying to get them even closer to that sale. And then the 5% who do purchase, I show them a different type of ad where they share and review the product. Okay, so this is the type of strategy that you need to create, something very similar. You can't show the same ad to all the different types of people. These are all different types of leads. And if you just show each one of these leads, just a video of your product and then a direct link to your site, that's not being efficient. And that's not how you're going to be successful. So you have to create different types of ads for the different types of leads depending on how hot the lead is. So take a look at this, and I want you guys to kind of, if you haven't created a Facebook ad strategy and you're going into it, take a screenshot or just write it on a piece of paper and write your strategy on how you're going to engage the different type of leads for your Facebook ads. This is the number one thing that I feel like people go into Facebook and they do not have a strategy. And if you do not have a strategy, you will lose a lot of money from the beginning. Okay, so moving on. So basically, I just want to go over my simple 6-step Facebook method. So in these next 6 steps, we're going to go over gathering data, like the pay-per engagement, like what I said at the top of the funnel. Then I'm going to show you guys how to create custom audiences, how to create the ads specifically, lookalike audiences and how you can use that to your advantage. So make Facebook do the work for you. The easiest type of ad, number 5, is retargeting. So just retargeting warm leads that have already visited your site or people who've already visited checkout and just showing them your ad again, or just showing them maybe a discount to finalize that purchase or have them convert. And then after that, once you've kind of made these all efficient, and the next thing you want to do is scale it. So how to properly scale. If you think that you could just double the profit on a sale or on your ad campaigns and then expect to double the conversions, that is incorrect. That is not how you scale. So let's just jump right into it. So step 1, gathering data. So this is cold traffic. So if you go back and you take a look at the sales funnel, this is the very top. You want to do the pay per engagement. So if you go over here, what you're going to choose and your objective is pay per engagement. That's what you want to choose. And this is the cheapest type of ad on Facebook, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be hitting the high level of all audiences. What I do is a PPE, ages 18 to 60, and I'm going to hit female because I think, I could already cut that in half and not even waste my time on hitting my target of males. I'm just going to hit directly females. Another thing you want to do is maybe even take a look at and research your audience insights. So if you go over here and you click your audience insights right here on the top left on your Facebook Ads Manager, you can take a look at the demographics. So what I typed in here earlier was like makeup, and then you can see that you can kind of like see insights on any type of interest, but you can plug it in and you can see that demographics that for makeup, 98% are women, 2% are men. Obviously, you can take a look at the relationship status. So you can kind of dig deep into these audiences to better allow you to research who's your best customer. Again, you don't necessarily just want to guess, but you want to use the data that you have. And then if you go here, you can see and you select audience, sorted by audience. You can see that a lot of your audience for makeup or for these type of females will be located in New York and Los Angeles or even Texas. So take a look at this as your audience insights to just kind of give you a better idea of your target interests for your ads. So again, we'll go back. Remember that your objective is just engagements. People who watch 95% of your video, the ads. You just want to focus on people who like it, people who share it, and those things are what Facebook can track for you. So just know that your main objective is not to get sales, and you really are just paying to gather data on who engages with that video, that initial video. And then what you want is pixel data on everyone who interacts with your site. And when you do this, is you just do this with a $5 a day budget per ad set, and you just see what's working. It's all about testing. So when you go here on your Facebook ads and you're doing engagement, so I go over here to my ad. So I created an ad here. And when you go here, it's like I'm choosing this video, and all I'm saying is just, check out the newest portable blender available today. And then let me make sure the sound's off. And then it would just play my ad. It would play my video ad, and it would just see who played 95% of it, who liked it, who commented on it, and then it would move them down further from the sales funnel that I showed you on Facebook ads. Okay, so this is one way to gather data and to kind of get that pay per engagement for the top level of your sales funnel on Facebook. But another cheaper method, say you don't have the $5 or $20 a day to budget, what you want to do, another cheap way that I did to gather cold, broad traffic is to do influencer marketing. So I'm sure if you've heard of this through dropshipping, you go on Instagram and you pay for ads. The cool thing about that is you're not being specific on your audience when you pay for influencer marketing, but you're gathering data on people who have visited your site each time that you pay for an ad or pay for influencer marketing. So when you go on Instagram and you pay for an ad, anyone that visited your site now turns to a warmer traffic or warmer lead. Again, if you go back to the sales funnel, you'll see that now they become warmer, and then you can start showing them and retargeting them ads based on them being a warmer lead. So that's just another way that you can gather cold data or gather data for your cold traffic. Again, you could just do the pay per engagement on your videos, do $5 a day budget per ad set, or a cheaper way that I did when I first started. If I didn't have $1,000 to start on Facebook ads and really testing, you just want to do it through influencer marketing. So that is step one. Step two, the next thing you want to do is creating custom audiences. So make Facebook gather all this data that you're sending people to your site. So you could do, audience of people. You could create these audiences of people who engage with the page, that post, people who visited your site within the last 30 days. Create an audience of people who added a cart, people who purchased. So kind of get creative and create all these types of custom audiences. So if you go back here, let's click custom. Let's go audiences. And what you can do here is, so like I did, website visitors past 30 days. And you can go create audience, custom audience. And because you installed the pixel, you can kind of click any type of custom audience that you want to gather. So if you did the video, use Facebook video, I want to people who have watched 90% of the video. So you could tell that there's a lot. These people are highly engaged with that post. So I want to create an engagement of people who have watched 90% of that, 95% of that video, and I'm gonna call them 95% watch video posts. And then choose videos. I'm gonna choose this video of the one I posted and confirm. Create audience. So that's it'll take some time to create that audience, but that's basically what you want to do. So again, you could do it for different things, custom audience. What I like to do is, like website traffic. You can go to, people who initiated a checkout in the past 7 days. So these are really warm leads. Or you can do all website visitors within the last 7 days. So those are the ones that you want to do. Retargeting, people who have visited specific web pages. So anyone that visited a web page on your site that went to cart. So you can click that. So you can get really creative with these type of custom audience. So these are the things that you want to keep track of when you're building custom audiences. And then what you do when you build these custom audiences is it allows you to just gather that data, so then you know specifically what types of ads you're showing to these different types of people. So you want to get creative again with these type of audiences. Step 3, creating ads. So before picture ads, or like those picture carousel ads on Facebook feeds were probably the best, but currently today, 2019, video ads are best. And what I use is Animoto.com to create ads. You can even use pictures in Animoto to create a slideshow, but then it will generate it into a video ad. So if we go here into Animoto, you can take a look at the different type of storyboards, and it's really user friendly. If you have the logo, you can just move things around. If you want to have text and you want to add that, buy now, you can add text and then edit it in the video itself. So it's really user friendly. I highly recommend it. And you can take a look at it, and it's really easy to use, and it's what I use to kind of test my videos, as well as make videos out of different picture slides. So like a little slideshow, you can also turn that into a video. So take a look at this. It's really easy to use. You can change the duration and trim the time. You can make still images longer. You could add text. It's really user friendly, and I'm not that great with video editing, so using Animoto has made that process a lot easier. So when I say when you're creating ads, you really want to test. You want to do a lot of split testing, and Animoto makes it really easy. So if you want to do a lot of testing and you want to change the background to yellow, and you want to see how that performs, it's really easy. So when you're first creating ads, you want to do a lot of split testing and making sure to cut off what works and then what doesn't work. And then my step 3 here is use same post ID for ads for more social proof. So when you go here to the ads manager and you are clicking, by that I mean when you're using posts and you're using the same user ID, or the post ID, you want to go over here and you want to click on this, let's see, and you want to click the same post ID that you're currently using for all of your ads. The reason why is because it's constantly creating more social proof. The likes that you get on one ad, you also want to keep receiving and being able to see on other ads. You want to see the same amount of likes or like same amount of views. You don't want to have to start all the way from zero each time you try a new ad set. So with this, make sure that you're using the same post ID so that you're having that social proof throughout all your ads. And then what the next thing that I really want to go over is your budget. A lot of people ask me, is $5, $10, or should I do $50 budget per ad set? So really the real question, instead of you asking me what's my budget, It's how fast do you want to get the data. So if you went and took, had a $5 budget per ad set, you'll see that maybe you'll get that data a lot slower. But if you got $50, maybe you'll see a lot more interaction, and especially on the top of the funnel that you remember, a lot more engagement. If you did $50 on the first day, you could get 100 to 200 likes depending on your budget. So it all depends on how fast do you want to get data. And then remember, the more data that you receive, the more accurate your audiences or your lookalike audiences will be, because the more data you have, the more Facebook can use that data to create a better audience for your lookalike audiences and higher conversions for your ads. So another thing that you want to keep in mind when you're creating your ads are test scroll stoppers. And remember that each ad has like ad fatigue or like an ad expiration date. So we'll go over testing scroll stoppers. So with Facebook ads, you need to keep in mind what people do when they go on Facebook. They're going on Facebook to basically go through the feed, see what their friends are up to, see what's the latest post. They're not necessarily out to make a purchase. If you compare it to Google ads, Google, someone is more likely to purchase on Google because they're searching for a certain product, and then boom, ads relative to that product search. If I was searching for sunglasses on Google, it would immediately show up. But with Facebook ads, you want to test different scroll stoppers to catch their attention. So when you go back to Animoto and you are choosing or doing different ads, you want to see how you can grab their attention. How can you prevent them from continuing to scroll past your ad? And those are things that you want to test. And the more successful you are in testing is how you'll be able to succeed or have a more optimal ad. And then the other thing that you also want to focus on is ad fatigue. If you look back into my ads manager, you'll see back into the previous ones, like a retargeting ad. I'll show it in a later ad or in a later slide, that you'll see that my frequency, I showed it up to 21 times. I think at about 25 times, you'll see the frequency of the ad. You'll probably want to discontinue and then show a different ad, because the more that they see the same ad, then they continue to block it, and then it won't perform as well. So make sure that you are always changing your ad sets, because there's ad fatigue, and then always testing for scroll stoppers, because you need to understand how your typical Facebook user goes on Facebook. They're just scrolling, and then all of a sudden they stumble upon your ad. That's how it works, and then now they're making the purchase. So you're trying to have a scroll stopper and then also prevent ad fatigue if you find a winning ad, and then discontinue it once it's no longer converting at the pace you want. And then when you're testing each ad set, make sure that you have specific interest targeting. So say you're looking at the 1% lookalike audiences of people who visited your site, and then now you're testing females 18 to 24 in the U.S. And then another ad set that you'd want to test, for about a $5 budget, is to test that same one and then test it in Canada and then see how well they're doing. And then based on that, you'll see with the data that you're gathering, which is converting well and which isn't. And then you want to discontinue ads that are not performing well as soon as you know. As soon as you see one ad is going to perform better than the other, say like US is performing better than Canada, then you're going to want to double down and add more of your budget to the US ad set, and then see how well it's performing there. So that's basically what you guys need to understand when you're creating ads. There's a lot of testing, and then use software that's already here and super easy for you. I use Animoto, and then using the same post IDs for social proof. And then based on your gadget or your budget, remember that it's all about how fast do you want to gather that data. Okay, so using what you just learned about creating ads, and if you already created an ad to use on Animoto and you created a video ad, let's just go through the process of using the ads manager. Remember at the top of the funnel in the previous slide when we talked about pay per engagement, that's the type of ad we're going to create today. So what you want to do is you want to take a look at your marketing objective. Again, I pay attention to mainly engagement and conversion. So at the top of the funnel, PPE, we're going to hit engagement, because we want to see people who interact with the video or who are first seeing my product for the very first time. So let's click here and click engagement. And then campaign name, we'll just call it engagement PPE 18 to 60. and then female worldwide. So you want to really be descriptive in your campaign name so that you know what's working and what isn't working, and you can kind of be a lot more specific in these interests. And when you do this, you'll be able to see what's profitable. You know, if worldwide's working in different age groups. So that's something that you always want to make sure that you organize in setting up your campaign. Okay, so continue. So ad set name, again, we will call this 18 to 60 PPE worldwide. We'll call this female. Okay, and then we're not going to use any custom audiences. We're basically just wanting to do we'll take even out US and we'll just type in worldwide. Again, this is the cheapest type of ads you will get because now we're reaching such a broad market, a broad group of people. So we're going to look at the audience size is obviously 2 billion, and the reach. My current budget is set at, we could set this at, let's just say $10. You're going to probably get a reach of 2,900 to 18,000 and an engagement of 335 to 2,100. So you're going to get a lot of engagement because you're going to be reaching such a broad audience. Again, I'm going to do 18 to 60. Let's do 60. You'll see that as you get a little more specific in the age or gender or any type of interest, your estimated daily results are going to increase because now your potential reach decreases. So then when I cut this to women, it cuts that audience size again in half. And then if you want to include any detailed targeting of things that you've found maybe on your audience insight or things that you might already know, like if I want to say that they're also interested into fitness or physical fitness, you can click that. We can type in English because we want to make sure that they're English speaking. So just little things like that you can click on, and you can narrow the audience here. You can also browse their different type of demographics, interests, behaviors. Again, you just want to click more so of this if you feel like you've already done enough research on your own, or just kind of like the obvious things. If you're selling, I don't know, like iPhone cases, you can also specifically search for people who are, using a different type of iPhone. So I think that's just like mobile device user. You can click that, click Apple, and then you can say like, I only want to target people who are using like iPhone X's. So this can get, if you look into it and you play around with it, you'll be able to kind of figure out exactly what you're looking for in terms of your target market. Again, I like to open it up pretty wide, especially for the top of the funnel, because you're just trying to see who interacts or who engages with your product or your ad, seeing it for the very first time. I make sure that I click automatic placements, and then I go over here to my budget and schedule. So especially when I'm testing it out and it's the top of my Facebook ad funnel, I set a daily budget of only $10, sometimes up to $50 if I want to just gain more data faster. And then we'll continue. And then what I said previously is like when you use the creative, when you're choosing that, you want to select the posts and you want to use the same post ID. So I'm going to click this post ID. The reason why, again, is because you want to create and save the same social proof. So for the total amount of views for this, in this specific ad set, you want to carry it on to other ad sets. So you don't want to lose and start all the way over with 0 likes or 0 views. And you want to just keep on using that same type of post ID related to what you posted and then what you're going to use as an ad. So you're going to see here, this is a preview of what the ad is going to look like. And again, this is something I made on Animoto. And then you can click here and you can preview the different type of ads. That's a desktop news feed, instant articles, Facebook in-stream. So you can go here and you can just kind of take a look at the different type of previews on different type of news feeds that you'll see, and then you'll just want to review and then confirm. So that's basically what you do when you're creating your very first ad. Remember, at the very top of the sales funnel is the pay per engagement type ad. Again, you want to show different ads to the different types of people who are the different type of leads that are on your sales funnel. So someone that is seeing your product for the very first time, you're gonna just want to show them a video informing them what type of product you have. But then for, say, someone who's already been on your site and have already looked at your products, maybe you want to give them an ad about a discount because they're closer to making that purchase. Maybe they've seen your product 3 or 4 times. So again, going back to your strategy, your Facebook ad strategy, and figuring out which ad to show which lead of who's already engaged and seen your product in the past. Step 4, lookalike audiences. So once you've gathered the data based on your pixel, or people that have kind of engaged with your videos or your ads, or people who visited your site, went through checkout, you want Facebook's ad algorithm to do the work for you. So what I like to do is do a lookalike audience of customers who purchase within the 7 days. So the previous step shows you how to, I think it was step 2, is how to create audiences. And in creating audiences, now you can have Facebook make lookalike audiences based on the audiences that you created. So I would have, customers who purchased within the last 7 days. So based on all the data that it's gathered with that pixel, I'm going to create a lookalike audience that Facebook is now going to find and closely match people who've already purchased from me within the previous 7 days. So we'll go here back to our Facebook Ads Manager, and what you want to do is go over here to create audience and then lookalike audience. So based on step 2 with the audiences that you created, you can come up here and then click other sources, and I created a custom audience of people who went on my website and then reached checkout but didn't make the purchase. So people who've reached checkout within the previous 7 days. So that's a pretty warm lead. People made the effort to go onto my website and then put a product into their cart. So that's what that means. And what I'm gonna do is I want, say, United States is performing well for me because that's what I've noticed based on my research. So I go down here and I select 1%. So that's saying 1% of the total population of the United States, Facebook is going to try to find the same type of users, the same type of people who checked out within the previous 7 days. So now you're using Facebook's data to find more customers for you. So this is how you scale, and this is how you let Facebook kind of gather all the data that you've been using with your Facebook pixel or people who've interacted with your videos, and you have them do the work so that they can just find the same exact customers or people who've already visited your site, and then they'll do the work and then find people who's similar, closely matched to that type of buyer. And then you click here, you click create audience, and then it creates that audience for you. So that's a pretty cool trick that a lot of people don't use. What I like to use is people who've purchased within the previous 7 days, and then I do a lookalike. So every single person that's purchased within the previous 7 days, I make Facebook do a lookalike audience, 1% in the US, and it just finds me new customers each and every day based on that lookalike. And as the 7 days go, it just sends them new data points within that previous 7 days using your pixel, and then Facebook just kind of finds you new customers. So just make sure that you use that. You can also export from email lists or Shopify data. So if you go on your Shopify and you have like a certain customer list that you want to use, you can export all their customers and then import it into Facebook. And use that as having Facebook have a lookalike audience for that. Again, you want to test. The number one thing with Facebook ads is a lot of testing. You want to test 1%, 2 to 5%, 5% of population of selected countries. So I would, do the major countries: US, Canada, Europe. Those are the main countries that I would hit. And then understand that the more narrow the search, the cheaper the ad. So using lookalike audiences, you can also make it a little more specific when you're going into your ads and choosing what's worked well for you. Again, what I said in the previous one, in your ad set, you want to test different countries, you want to test different age groups, and then cut off ones that aren't working well, and then continue to double down and increase your budget for the ad sets that are working best. Step number 5, retargeting ads. This is probably my easiest ad to create, and it's my most profitable ad campaign. And what you want to do here is use custom audiences to people who visited your site within the previous 30 days. So if you look in the ad funnel again on slide 2 or 3, you'll see that these are warmer leads. So people that have already visited your site, you want to just show them an ad of your product again to remind them to make that purchase. So you can see that my total ad spend was about $8,000, and my total purchases from that $8,000 was about 3,700 purchases. If you do 3,765 times my average order value, which is $30, you'll get about $112,950. So that's a pretty good return on ad spend from $8,000 to $112,000. You could see here that it takes a while, or customers need to see your product 2 to 3 times before they make that purchase. And you can see here in the frequency that people saw this almost 22 times, but it allowed them to have a lot more purchases. You know, people purchase 3,700 times after seeing it so many times. So you need to understand that. Another type of ad with retargeting ads that create high conversions are retargeting ads of people who've reached checkout. So a lot of people, so this is like abandoned cart retargeting. So people who visited your site, they made the purchase, you know, or they took your product and they took it all the way to the cart, but didn't make the purchase because they forgot. So what you do is you send them a retargeting ad of that abandoned cart. So basically you just show them the products that they forgot or that they left in their cart, and it's like, hey, you forgot to do this. Complete your purchase here and use a 5 or 10% discount here before it expires in the next 24 hours. So that's another type of way that I use the retargeting ads to have higher conversions. Step 6, scaling your ads. So you need to understand that Facebook goes through a learning phase to properly optimize, and that takes either 7 days and 50 optimization events. So you will take this straight from the Facebook page, and you'll see here that your ad set needs to get about 50 optimization events after starting to run or since the last significant edit to complete the learning phase. So it needs to complete this learning phase to have more accurate data. Again, Facebook is all about gathering data and then using that data to basically give you what you want, or what your conversions are. If you want to get more leads, if you want to get more sales, basically Facebook just needs a lot of data. And in order to get that data, you're going to have to spend money. So always kind of focus on, I want you guys to go with the mindset that you're not necessarily wasting money on Facebook, but you're using that money to get as much data so that when you create your lookalike audiences or you continue to scale, it could be highly optimized for you to convert. So another thing you want to do is slowly increase your budget to successful converting ads. Increasing your budget aggressively will make Facebook spend your ad faster. So Facebook's is a business, and all they want to do is basically make sure that they spend the ad spend each and every day. So if you jump from $20 to $100 budget within a day, it's going to spend that $100, and you're not going to get the return on ad spend that you previously did at the $20 budget. So this is exactly not how to scale. This is like beginner stuff. If you have $100 in budget and you get 10 sales, that does not mean you can increase your budget to $500 and get 50 sales. Do not do that. I learned this the hard way. What you want to do is slowly increase it 5 to 10%, and then wait and have it optimized within the next 3 to 7 days. And then after that, again, increase it about 5 to 10%, and then wait for your Facebook ads to go through that learning phase and optimize within the 7 days before you slowly start to increase it, so that your Facebook ads can properly optimize and use that data to have a better optimization for your ads to convert, so that it can use that same data. So that's what I want you guys to focus on when you're scaling your ads. And then again, I know I've talked about this in the previous ad, but remember, ad fatigue and creating new creatives. So you always want to create new or different types of ads when you are scaling, because the same type of ads that people are continuing to see aren't going to maybe convert as best as it used to. So you need to consistently recycle different type of ad sets, and it could be as simple as, just changing the beginning, moving, the logo at the end, making a shorter video, changing the music. You want to do something where it just kind of it changes it up a little bit, especially when they're looking at your ad and they know you already exist. But if you just keep showing them the same thing and you're not refreshing your content, your audience isn't going to want to engage with your videos, engage with your product, or engage with your site. So make sure that you're always, continuously trying to improve your ads to make them best. And then you could do slight changes like, changing the background, making it shorter, making it longer, changing the music. Just a lot of little things that you could test, but just make sure that you really want to pay attention on slowly increasing and scaling your ads. So basically that was the full course. I want you to like and subscribe for more tips on getting your Shopify store profitable faster. If you have any questions, just put them down in the comments. If you want to see part 2 of my marketing techniques where I go more into Google ads, Instagram ads, Snapchat ads, please comment below and tell me exactly what you're looking for. Again, this is Mike with Launch Your Startups, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.